Hey, a pleasant good day, everybody. I'm Joe Boric from the Flyers Nitty Gritty team. This is my first video on the YouTube channel. And first and foremost, I want to say a happy 4th of July weekend, everybody, and a special thanks to the many men and women that serve our great country. We appreciate you, we adore you, and we love you for everything you do day in and day out each day. And now into what this video is on. As the great band, the Beastie Boys, once said, you gotta fight for your right to party. And as Adam Yacht once said, rest in peace, that's a great song, first of all, by the way, but that is exactly what every prospect has to do in their system. They got to fight for the right to party, which, of course, the party in this analogy is making the NHL. Two guys that I recently wrote articles about on our website, Matthew Strome and Maxime Cisco, if you want to go check those out, are the topics of this video. Strome, of course, was known, picked as the 106th pick in the 2017 NHL draft. Excuse me, and according to his elite prospects profile, comes in at 6'4", 205 pounds. He is a guy that just knows how to play the game. He showed steady progression each year, as I wrote about in my article. He went up from 38 to 62 to 68 to 79 points in his junior career. And as a total, he amassed 247 points with 115 goals and 132 assists during his career in the juniors. This guy knows how to get to the areas of the ice where you can pot the puck in the net, as well as be able to generate rebounds for your teammates, because he knows how to get in front of the net with his strong hockey IQ, allowing him to know when to go down low and set up for ample deflections with his great soft hand to be able to deflect it on net for his own goal or a great ample rebound opportunity for anybody else on the club. And he also has drastically improved in passing each of his years, going from 22 to 28 to 31, all the way up to 51 on assists. So not just being able to be a power forward that can get in on the forecheck and be a bruiser and hit more, and out of all of his brothers is probably the most physically bruising of all of them, even over Dylan and especially Ryan Strome. So he's a guy that plays a little bit differently than both of them. Strome plays a game that's going to play perfect into your bottom six. As our very own Lance Green talked about, we need those physical guys that are just money in front of the net and great with on the forecheck, and also very solid and developing on their defensive end. As Strome comes up, he will come up during the time AV's here. Mark my words, AV, of course, got the 5-year contract, and he's going to be a guy that does wonders for Strome, because AV's a great coach, as we found out, as he's progressed through the league. Maybe not originally with Vancouver, but as he's progressed through the league, great at figuring out how to progress along every single player in their own individual sense. And with Strome, he knows that skating, and they're already working the organization full-heartedly on improving his skating. And it showed when he went down to the ECHL, he showed some better strides, and he had 20 points in 25 games. He just needs to be able to improve it. And another guy we drafted years ago, Scott Lordan, of course, is a guy that's now a person that's one of my favorite players on the team, and I think most fans, one of their favorite players on the team, one of the hardest workers out there. That's exactly who Matthew Strome is, and he's a guy that's going to work on skating, and he's going to get better at it. He's a perfect power forward that this team will need for their bottom six. He can also play on the PP a bit for you, obviously, being able to get in front of the net and create distractions and just piss off the goaltender, and he can definitely play on the penalty kill for you, because he's a guy that also, especially if you train him to do it more, he's a guy that with his frame and everything, he can be a great shot blocking forward as well. I know we don't talk about that as much in today's game anymore. You usually talk about the defenseman blocking shots more, but he's definitely a guy that can be ample on the PK, because he's not afraid of anything. He's a guy that's going to go into any dirty area, whether you ask him to do that on the power play or on the penalty kill or on 5-on-5 play. And he's a guy I look to very much progress next year, and be able to stay in the AHL for most, if not all, of the season. So that's what I look for Matthew Strome. Our next person is Sushko, who the reason he fell to the 4th round, and believe it or not, these two guys were picked back-to-back. 107th was Sushko in the 2017 draft. He's 6 foot at 185. But like I was saying, the reason he fell is because he was coming from Belarus. There's not as much stuff to go off of there. The only Belarusian people were the Kostitsins, were pretty good. Mikhail Grabowski was good. And then you had pretty much just those guys that were in the realm of people. Oh, and then Ruslan Saleh, I almost forgot to mention him. He was a very good defenseman during his time here, played over 900 and some games. He was a very solid, steady Eddie defenseman. But other than that, we have Ostamenko, Sushko, and then the Devils have a prospect in forward. I'm pulling up his name for you. Yegor Sharangovich. I probably botched his last name, but he's a pretty solid developing forward himself out of Belarus. So those are the only Belarusians in the AHL even right now. And of course, Ostamenko's up with the Flyers as one of our extra goalies right now. So he has a chance to be someone along with Yegor, I'll call him, because Sharangovich, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name. It looks like it. For the Devils, those two have a chance to be able to cement themselves as two like Belarusian forwards that can bring the ratings and fan base for Belarus into the league. And as Jamie Baskow always highlights, and I know he highlighted to our very own Chris on his YouTube channel the other day as well, Maxime Cisco, and I agree with him, has one of our best wrist shots in the system. He's definitely a top 9 forward with top 6 potential. And both of these guys, for people that don't know, by the way, are left-handed. I don't think I ever pointed that out yet, but I think most Flyers fans know that follow the prospects that Sushko and Strome are left-handed. But he has one of the best shots in the system, Sushko, that is. In 3 years in the AHL, he had OHL, he had 143 points in 176 games. That is a very good rate, and he transitioned great to North American hockey. That was the biggest question for him because playing in Belarus, as I was saying, you don't have the degree of competition. But in his final year there, I'm not even going to try to say the team name, but in the Belarusian league, he had 30 points after the year prior, also having 30 points, and then for their U18 team having 66 points. Then he went on to have a fantastic rookie year for the Owen Sound Attack, having a great playoffs of 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points in 17 games as a puppy, and having 32 total points in 54 games in the regular season. Then the next year he had 60 points, and the following year his assist total became a more overall playmaker. He trying to change his game and adjusted to trying to not just become a shooter, but also a great passer. And that's what you see in Sushko's game as well. So his game, it doesn't look as pretty stats-wise, but trust me, he still did really good, producing 51 points in 2018-19. Then came right in and didn't miss a beat with the Phantoms, producing 21 points in his rookie year with 11 goals and 10 assists. This guy has just shown the ability to adjust at every level, which was the biggest question mark there, because it definitely wasn't his skating. Unlike Strome, this guy's great at skating. He's a guy that the only question for him was, could he adjust to the talent level and the different style of play in North America? Well, heck yeah, he can. He's definitely done that. He's a goal scorer and a playmaker, and he has a quick release shot with strong velo, and he's obviously has plus on ice vision. He's good at reading, just like Strome's really becoming as well. Both these guys can kind of read the play and determine what's best. But Sushko, different than Strome because of his speed, is one of those guys that doesn't really have to lose any of his momentum. If you look at highlights of him from the OHL especially, and then there's only a few from the Phantom, you can see the guy doesn't really have to lose his momentum to pick his spot and then hit it and shoot it, or to pick his spot when it comes to precision passing and get it over to his teammate on a tape pass. So those are my 2 thoughts on those prospects. I think both of them, I think Maxime Cisco is definitely going to be up before Strome, because Cisco is actually a black ace potentially this year, as Jamie's pointed out. He's a guy that I would actually be perfectly fine and confident in if he did get forced to play, because he would be in a bottom 6 role. But again, he has a fire of a shot. He can adjust and he showed the ability to adjust at any level so far. So if he's forced into the playoffs, hopefully he's not. God forbid. I hope we don't have any injuries or anybody contract the virus. I pray and hope for that. But if he is, I have full-blown confidence in this player being able to adjust at every level, that he for sure can adjust at the NHL level. But this has been my first video on our YouTube channel, Flyers Nitty Gritty YouTube. I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend. Please comment and let me know what you think, and I will try to respond to you when I can. And also subscribe to our channel if you would like down below. This has been my first video on Maxime Cisco and Matthew Strome. I hope you liked it. Both of these guys are a hella prospect and have a chance to be impact players for this team definitely in the next few years, and Sushko very near future. Peace out, everybody.